Come on, go step, stupid.
Last week on the Chronicles of Dr. Guttum, we saw that the doctor was swamped with patients and surgeries were stacking up. Patient Bob Dingleberries desperately needed a liver transplant. Mr. John Bloodsucker required a blood transfusion. And the entire county of Rackettville needed the good doctor to come and deliver penicillin. And on top of that, Billy Hacksaw needed a Band-Aid. So Dr. Guttum decided to go golfing.
Please report to the ER.
Doctor, what are you doing here? I thought you were going golfing.
I was going golfing, but now I'm just teed off. So what's the 411 on the patient?
He has acute traumatic discomfort of abdominals.
Is what?
Bellyache.
Oh, why didn't you just say that? So, hey, get off that stool. What are you doing there? We might need that. Oh, you might need that.
¿Cómo estás?
Oh, me llamo Dr. Guttum. ¿Cómo estás? Tu llamo.
I got no idea what you're saying.
Hey, you're not Mexican. You're that Sonny Klutz, the famous guitar player from the band Drippy Nostrils. Hi there, I'm Brandon Smith, and today I'm going to talk to you about The history of guitars. Before I go into any specific details, first I'll tell you a little bit about the general history of the instrument. Amplified guitar started being developed during the big band era of the 1930s and 40s to address the problem of guitars not being heard because of large brass sections. Three key inventors were busy experimenting at this time: Les Paul, George Beauchamp, and Leo Fender. Some of the earliest electric guitars were actually adapted hollow body acoustic guitars, which were manufactured under the direction of George Beauchamp and Adolf Rickenbacker. The earliest documented performance with an electric guitar was in 1932 by the name of Gage Brewer. Eventually, in the year of 1938, an electric guitar was introduced to another important influence to the popularization of the instrument, Charlie Christian, who is generally known today as the first electric guitarist. 3 years later, in 1941, Les Paul was finishing up a design for one of the first solid-body guitars. In about 1950, Les Paul's design was bought up by Gibson Guitar Corporation, and thus came the Gibson Les Paul, Gibson's most popular guitar. When Les Paul first pitched his design, which was then at the time called the Log, it was turned down by Gibson, and numerous times after that. But in 1951, a guitar was created by Gibson, incorporating Paul's suggestions, and they presented it to him to try. He was impressed enough to sign a contract for what became the Les Paul model. Les Pauls from Gibson are generally very expensive, from the $1,000 to $3,000 range. But there are alternatives. Epiphone also makes a Les Paul model, with the same outer look and very few differences from the Gibson version. The Les Paul is also known for its considerable weight. This is due to the thickness of the guitar and the kinds of woods used. This thickness contributes to the warmth of the tone, which Les Pauls are also known for. Les Pauls have a much deeper sound than other guitars, such as the Telecaster. The weight of these Les Pauls can cause guitarists to complain of shoulder and back pains while playing standing up. The Les Paul has gone through countless innovations. The most recent was made just a couple years ago with the robot guitar, which has self-tuning pegs. Les Paul, the designer of this beautiful work of art, still endorses Gibson at age 94. Another important innovator in the history of the electric guitar was Leo Fender. Fender's first design was a single pickup solid body guitar that began being developed around the same time as Les Paul began developing the Les Paul. But the initial production model didn't appear until 1950, and it was called the Esquire. Fewer than 50 guitars were originally produced under this name, and most were placed under warranty because of early manufacturing problems. Fender had nothing but trouble with this name, and they were claimed that they violated a trademark law for the Gresh Company's Broadcaster line of drums. And as a newcomer of the industry, Fender decided to bend and change the name to the final name, the Telecaster. During the changing of names, there was guitars manufactured that bore no name, and these nowadays are popularly called no-casters. The Telecaster is known for its bright cutting tone, and one of the secrets to this is the sound centers on the bridge pickup, which have more windings than the neck pickup, and hence have more sound or higher input. And unlike any other guitar, the Telecaster has a slanting bridge pickup, which enhances the guitar's treble tone. Fender continues today to make the Telecaster model and other popular models, such as the Stratocaster and the Jazzmaster guitar. Up until this last segment, I've only talked about American-made guitars. So here is a guitar company based out of Nagoya, Japan. Ibanez. Ibanez is a guitar brand owned by Hoshino Gaki, which was one of the first Japanese musical instrument companies to gain a significant foothold in the United States and Europe. And though Ibanez dates back at least as far as Fender and Gibson, it wasn't known in the U.S. until about 30 years ago, when Hoshino opened an office near Philadelphia for more efficient distributing Ibanez guitars to the United States. Most of these guitars were Ibanez's famous high quality but very inexpensive copies of just about everything. Fender copies, Fender Telecaster copies, Gibson Les Paul copies, you name it. And they've actually gotten sued for this by Gibson. But soon after those incidents, it became known that they were actually quite an innovative guitar company. And they did start making their own designs. This particular model happens to be an X series guitar. It was mostly made for guitar players that played metal. But because this is a later made series of guitars, and it's a foreign company, I had trouble finding any more information on the guitar.
This has been a brief history of the electric guitar. Hope you all enjoyed it and you were well educated.
Doctor,
Oh.
doctor,
Oh,
wake up.
Get that stupid head off of him. What's he doing still awake?
Because, doctor, we have no anesthesia.
What do you mean we have no anesthesia, intern?
The shipment didn't arrive.
Oh, the shipment. I got no idea what you're talking about.
Well, what do we do, doctor?
Oh, I guess we're gonna have to use our emergency hurts-a-lot needle.
This one?
Yep, that'd be it.
Doctor, he fainted. And you're using the wrong end, see?
I knew that. I was just testing you. Wake him up. He needs to get a shot.
That hurt.
Not as much as this one will.
It's a good thing Samuel Chapman invented that thing.
Yep, and this can opener, which we'll be using to cut him open.
Hello.
My name's James Chapman. I'm going to talk to you about the history of patent. The Federal Patent Act was passed by Congress April 10th, 1790. Wow, that was a long time ago. There are three types of patents. They are design, plant, and utility. Utility patents are patents granted to people any new inventions. Plant patents are granted to people who discover forms of new plants, and design patents are granted to people who change different designs. Now, here's my grandfather, Samuel Chapman, who's going to talk to you about his inventions.
I'm Samuel Chapman. I have 5 patented inventions I'd like to introduce to you. And the first one is my first invention was invented in 1956. I was working at Ohio State University Hospital, and my job was to work in the labs, and it was at that time it was one of the largest diagnostics hospitals in the United States. And my job was to take the diagnostic syringes and pull the plungers from them and make them ready so that they could be washed and sterilized so that it could be used again. And in the process of trying to pull the plunger for some of these glass syringes, it wasn't any plastic syringes at that time, the plunger would freeze in the barrel and you couldn't pull it out, and you wind up having it discarded. And during that time, they was losing about $1,000 a day because that was a large research hospital. And so I came up with the idea of a syringe releasing device. And here are the drawings of this syringe releasing device. You will see in figure 1 at the top, there's a syringe that's screwed into a plunger. And here's the trouble syringe right here. And here is the plunger. So the water in here would go down and fill up the plunger, and you could press the trouble syringe and it would release it. And these are the drawings. That's invention number 1. Invention number 2 is a hypodermic syringe. And this invention was, I received a patent on December the 5th, 1964. And it's a sampling syringe. This is the syringe, the barrel and the plunger and the needle. Now inside of this barrel is a hollow cylinder, plastic cylinder that will fit inside of the barrel. And you would pull the barrel and create a vacuum in this barrel. When you pull the plunger up, you would create a vacuum, a suction. And it was made to stop and freeze it right in that position with the suction inside of the barrel. And so when you would, my third invention is a interlocking nail device. An interlocking nail device is a nail that is used for the purpose of fixing floors down, securing floors so that they don't rise and cause noise. You nail the nail into the floor, and you have a small nail that enters into two parts of the nail and comes out at the bottom and interlock it into the floor so it don't allow the floor to rise.
My grandfather's last invention was the cut punch can opener, which has two purposes. The first purpose is a can opener. Then when you want to get to the second purpose, there's an adjustment switch. The strainer switch cuts into the lid without removing the lid and actually pours liquid out. The can opener switch is like a regular can opener. It cuts the lid completely off. I want to give a special thanks to my grandfather for taking time to talk about his patents. This is James Chapman saying good night.
Doctor, the can opener wasn't successful in making the incision.
It wasn't what?
You can't see his innards.
Oh. What do we do now then?
Well, it's going to take 20 minutes at least until he's knocked out.
Dr. Ujibuji. Ujibuji. Your operation's down the hall. Yeah, down the hall, Ujibuji. Down the hall. Sorry about that. Dr. Ujibuji's a little eccentric about his job. He just, can't kind of help himself, so...
Doctor, what are you doing? The patient isn't asleep yet.
Yeah, dinner at my house this Friday. Yep, this Friday at 7. All right, see you then, Ujibuji. Hey, intern, make a wish.
Doctor, I think you should leave that alone.
Oh.
He was complaining about a stomach ache.
Oh, so isn't that this over here?
No, those are his kidneys.
Oh, they look like little beans. Well, if you think you're so smart, then... What's this?
Doctor? Step back.
Oh, well. What are all these things? They keep getting in my way. There's a bunch of them just all over the place.
Ribs.
Oh, hey, you know where you can get some real good barbecued ribs? Down at Uncle Chuck's Rib Emporium. Talking about all this food's making me hungry. Intern. I think I'm going to have to bake a cake now. What to use for a bowl? Oh, here we go.
Doctor, what are you doing? This is an operating room, man.
Making a cake.
But this is a sterile place. What are you doing? And what is?
I told you I'm making a
This
cake.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'm hungry.
Well, that's all well and good, but this is seriously Doctor, where'd you get those from?
From a chicken, of course.
Well, we don't even have an oven.
Then I guess I'll just order a pizza.
What in the world is that?
It's my cell phone. Bought it brand new, 1978.
What is that thing?
It's the antenna. You know your questions, young people these days. Hi, yes, we'd like to order a large pizza with everything on it and have it delivered to operating room. What number is this?
Letter C, Doctor.
Oh, letter C of the Hospital of Ecthethafliva and chicken takeout. Oh, doesn't chicken sound really good too?
I will be showing you guys how to prepare a meal with chicken, noodles, vegetables, biscuits, and gravy. So, to start things off, I've already preheated our oven to 400 degrees, and we'll now clean the chicken to add the shake and bake to. You want to rinse the chicken so that it's not covered in the juices and dangerous to your health, because it's also very important to cook your chicken completely so you don't end up with any sort of food poisoning. Next, to start off our noodles and peas, you're going to want to begin to boil your water, which I already have in the pots. Now, take the bag from your shake and bake box. We're cheating. And add the seasoning into the bag. Next, each piece of chicken, drop it in the bag, hold it together, and shake. Hence the name Shake and Bake. Once it's coated, just take it out, lay it on your cookie sheet. And repeat. Now, it's important to wash your hands carefully each time so you don't end up getting your other food dirty. Make sure you use lots of soap and warm water so that way you don't spread germs or anything else to your other food. And that means the oven's preheated. So now we can put our chicken in. You want it to sit on the middle rack so it can cook evenly, and let it bake for about 20 minutes. It's also important to keep your workstation clean. Well, our water's come to a boil, and that's about the time to add the rest of your food, hence the peas and egg noodles. And you want to just pour about half the bag into your pot and reduce the heat there. And then that it is fully submerged in the water. And if you end up making the mistake of putting too much water in, carefully, won't be able to do it that way, strain out your excess water. And again, make sure you clean up your workstation. Putting back any unused food. And any previously cooked food. The gravy, which is the last thing to cook, is very simple. One bowl, pop it open, pour it into the bowl, set back upside down so that any of the leftover gravy will float to the bottom and you'll be able to pour that in there. You need a fork so that you can check your chicken from time to time, make sure that it's still cooking right. And be very safe and use hot pads. Not done yet. A little bit more time to that. Now, peas you can cover. Let that cook. Make sure to stir your noodles. So that they don't stick to the bottom and burn. After you get the rest of your gravy out of your jar, make sure you clean your workstation. Turn your noodles down. peas. Turn them down. Now you can either use a straining spoon and scoop your noodles, or use a strainer, which will require an empty sink. So we're going to stick with the straining spoon. Gravy is just simply into the microwave, which we cleverly hid off screen, and set for a couple minutes, and when you're ready, press start. Now, after you've taken care of the rest of your food and it's all been cooked, the biscuits cook on a lower heat than the chicken does, but the chicken can also cook for as long as the biscuits on a lower heat as well. So we will lower our heat to 350 for the biscuits. And then take our timer and increase as well. Now the biscuits are as simple as peel, and then place on another cooking sheet. You want them separated enough so that they will cook without touching one another. And then because your oven's already preheated, you're going to want to, again, get it on your middle rack, so the chicken will have to be turned to the side, and biscuits put in right on next to it. Now, after reducing all your heats, and if your other food is done, you're going to want to move them to some of your back burners that aren't being used, so that it will stay warm but won't burn. Make sure to turn off your unused burners now so you don't burn yourself. Once your oven beeps, you can take out your chicken and your biscuits. If one cooked faster than the other, then you just leave the other one in that needs to be cooked. You can easily check if your chicken is done by cutting into one and seeing if the inside's pink or if it's white. Then you would take your gravy out of the microwave, serve, and eat.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, how am I gonna pay for that pizza?
Shouldn't we stick to the patient?
Oh yeah, the patient. Watch how I operate. Just kind of slow that. All right, there we go. That's what I was looking
Isn't that
for.
his wallet?
Can't believe they got me delivering pizza. Pizza boy, pizza.
You take Visa?
No.
MasterCard?
No.
Cash?
Cash works.
Oh, all right.
Not enough
Hey,
delivery.
pizza's here, guys. Pizza guy,
What? What do you guys want?
throw this away.
Garbage. I'm not garbage. Man, throw this away. What does he want? Hello? Babies? I can't deliver a baby. And besides, even if I could, I'm still delivering newspapers on my bike route.
Hey, come back. Come back. I'm in pain. Come back. I'm in pain. Come back. I'm in pain, goodness gracious. Come back. I'm in pain. At least I put emotion in those people. Come on. Hello? Is anyone there? Come back. I'm in pain. Hello, Dr. Guttum? Intern? Pizza guy? Anyone? Oogie boogie? Come back. I'm in pain. Thank goodness.
Oh, there they are. Man, I must have got something.
What? Dr. Guttum, I'm in pain. I'm in pain, Dr. Guttum. Come back. Come back. I'm in pain. Hello? Pizza guy? Intern? Dr. Guttum?